Hi everybody, this is Aid from whichbike.com. I'm out on this very windy evening. On the no, that's alright. No, I'm actually, I'm just doing a video on it. Hey, got loads of kids. Oh, hi everyone, this is Aid from whichbike.com. I've got a little audience here, all looking at the marvellous Triumph Tiger XRX. Again, this bike is supplied kindly by the roadtrip.uk guys. They do motorcycle hire rentals. They've got a variety of bikes from super sports like the Panigale up to the fantastic touring multistradas. They've got some Bindos and some Tigers as well. This one's in a rather resplendent blue, as you can see. That's a very good looking bike. Now, where this bike sits is as an 800. It's in the kind of middleweight touring category, as opposed to the 1 litre plus touring bikes, which people tend to take out for longer distances. Now, where this sits is it's fun and has the ability to tour, so it's very much up against the Tracer from Yamaha, the MT09 Tracer, which also roadtrip.uk have got, which I have taken out. I'll put a link to it up on the screen. This is a nice looking bike. It's very similar to a Tracer in a lot of ways at first glance. If it was the same colour, you might struggle to know which is which at first glance actually, without the wording on there. It's got an adjustable screen. It's got ABS, front and back. This one's not complete standard. You can see it's got frame bars on it. It's got the comfort seat, which is standard on the XRX. Now, the difference between this and the XCX, which I've taken out, is that it's more suitable for the road. The suspension is different. It's made for the road conditions. It's slightly lower, which will suit slightly shorter riders. In fact, this is shorter than the Tracer, so it's more suitable than the Tracer for particularly shorter drivers. Now, the road trip guys can supply this with side panniers and a back box, should you wish to take it on a touring journey. So let's start this one up and see how it goes and see if my audience approves. The numbers are starting to build. Key in the usual place. Got to pull the clutch in to start. That made them all jump back a little bit. Nice standard sound. Of course, it's got that lovely whistly Triumph triple engine. Both this and the Tracer are triples, but this one sounds quite a bit different. The Tracer sounds rawer. This sounds a little bit smoother, albeit with that little whistle. So let's jump on it and see what we think. Right, let's try and move this bike out without running him over. Imagine that. Almost took him out. Never mind, maybe next time. Right, so I'm going to squeeze this little gap here, he says, as he almost fails. Right, let's okay, I was going to go right, let's go left. Okay, first impressions. This comfort seat is very comfortable. It's not hard at all, and where the ridge is, it supports you quite nicely. It's not flat like the Tracers, and as from that video you might have seen how I mentioned you can kind of move forward and backwards and it keeps you in your seat, so it's kind of almost like an adjustable seat for reach in a way. This one you really got to be sitting in kind of one position. Very upright handlebars. Again, sitting high, but you're not sitting as high as the Tracer, which seems to have a particularly high sitting position. Now, some people will like that. They like they've got the views over the cars. For other people, the height of the seat is the most paramount importance for comfort. It's got kind of a long front. The binnacle in front seems to be quite a long way away. That matters not one jot. In fact, it might actually help because the wind deflection might be better with the glass in that position. And it is an adjustable front screen. Just got to move these knobs. It's not a bad place to sit. It's quite an attractive bike. It's in a lovely blue, I must admit. The blue colours are nice. The seat's comfortable. My feet are just shy of my heels touching the ground, so that gives a fantastic sense of confidence when you come to a stop. The Tracer is a little bit bigger. The clutch, absolutely spot on, pretty similar to the Tracer's, to be honest. The gear change is similar to the Tracer's. It's got a little clunk, not a heavy clump, but you know that you've changed gear. Very clear instrument, binnacle actually. It's got an analog rev counter, which I always like. It's got a very clear speedo. It's got the time. There are in fact 3 modes on here. But unlike the Tracer, which has got simple modes, A, B and standard, this has got 3 modes: road, rider and off-road, would you believe? Which obviously adjusts the suspension accordingly. Let me just put this visor up and get a bit hot. However, it's got a step better than the Tracer in that you can go into the system and modify the settings yourself. So that's another layer of complexity, more akin to Ducatis. So that's quite a good feature if you're going to make use of it. I imagine most people just stick in the modes that they've got, which is fair enough. That's probably what I would do, but it's nice to know that it's there. It's got a gear indicator, of course. Why any bike manufacturer would now not put a gear indicator on the digital space is beyond me. This one works very well. It's got a very clear fuel gauge. I do like that sound. This is where it differs most from the Tracer on initial impressions. The engine feels smoother. It's got this kind of more refined feeling, like you might get of a 4-cylinder, particularly like a Honda inline 4. Whereas the Tracer is kind of a bit rawer. Now that's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. Some people prefer the raw nature of the Tracer. Some people prefer the smoothness of this as a tipple. It's just interesting that they're both tipples but have slightly different characters. Yeah, quite like that. Oh, there you go, my first overtake. Right, let's put the visor down. It is extremely windy today, so as I build up speed you may struggle to hear me. But I'll just speak up. I'll try not to do any singing today. I haven't got a great amount of time. Now on the basis that you might be watching this video as a potential purchase, woohoo! That's not bad. Now what it hasn't got is the outright burst of power that the Tracer's got. The Tracer's extra 20 horsepower, once you're rolling along, are significant. The Tracer is a faster bike at seemingly every position of your wrist. So right from low down up to the high end, it's got significantly more power. However, this being 800, this has got more than enough power for the road and touring situations. So do you really need extra power? So there's a 20 bhp deficit in favour of the Tracer on top of this Triumph. However, this has got a trick up its sleeve. This is, probably even more amazingly, it's 20 kilograms lighter than the Tracer. And what does that mean in principle? It means it's got low inertia. It means it can go around bends slightly easier. It means it can pick up acceleration slightly easier. The Tracer will catch up, but then this will get off the line easier. And for some people, a light bike just feels like a better bike. Now, quite logically thinking, that's pretty much true of all sports bikes and all sports cars. A lighter machine makes the connection with the road that much better. It's just the way it is, you know, it's quite logical. So the 20 bhp difference might be outweighed by this 20 kilogram lighter bike. It does seem to pick up nicely. It runs out a puff a bit quicker than the Tracer. Now as I'm going along, this seat is, I'm starting to notice things more and more as I'm going along with it. This seat is fantastic. It's really comfy. I don't know, let's just reach between my legs. Oh, what's that? What was it? It's got the makings of a really light gel seat. I'm not sure it is gel, to be honest, but I'm assuming it is. Actually, let me just go right here quickly. Let's go on some twisties. Oh yeah, that's more like it. That's the speed limit. I can tell you straight away, this turns at least as nicely as the Tracers. Got to be a little bit careful, it's a little bit damp still from this morning shower. Oh, this train, oh yes, this definitely goes around bends beautifully. Well, now compared to the XCX, and some people might be watching this video to see the difference between this and that, I can tell straight away this suspension is made for the road. It seems to be more compliant over the bumps, but still retains some firmness, so you get more feeling on the bends than when you accelerate. Watch out for a couple of bikers. Be careful, don't get lost here. That's a good pickup. That was in fourth gear, that acceleration pickup. Right now it's getting windy, so you might not be able to hear me that clearly, but what I'm going to be telling you is that this bike feels very good, very stable. Give a bit of a lean on there, give a bit of a lean. Give a slower bend, nice. Very good. The bike seems to want to stand up. You have to kind of lean it a bit. The bike seems to want to stand up. You have to kind of lean it a bit to kind of get it to turn. It might not, initial turning not quite as good as the Tracers. That's just my early impression, might well be wrong. Cool, it's windy here. Sorry for getting a little wind noise, there's nothing I can do about that. But because I know what I'm doing with the microphone now, you should at least be able to hear me, but the wind noise might well be annoying. I should also mention actually the road trip guys also got a BMW which will compete with this. I mean, if I was in the market for an 800 sports tourer, there must be, I'd be very tempted to give the road trip guys a call and try and come to a deal where you can take 3 bikes out in a row really. Maybe for less than a day, I'm not sure. I have to speak to the guys about it, but if you could take the BMW, the Triumph and the Tracer out in quick succession, let's say 3 bikes over a weekend, you'd be in a fantastic place to make a good decision on which bike to get. Yes, interesting. Yeah, this bike is brilliant from takeaways, just like the Tracer. I mean, this is so similar really to the Tracer. The only real difference is the power at the far end where the Tracer wins, the general handling as you're going along, where the Tracer isn't really that far behind this Triumph, even though it's just 20 kilograms heavier. So I think mainly the buying decision is going to come down to which one you kind of like the look of best, and then of course budget, running costs. I mean, for me the reason I'd get the Triumph is just because it's a Triumph. You know, I've had Japanese bikes, I've got an Italian bike, I've still got a Japanese bike, but I've never had a Triumph, and I think it's every British man's duty to have a Triumph at some point. And what Triumphs are very good at, oh bloody hell, you just change the mode. You've got a bit ballistic. You just change so honestly. Fucking hell. Where does this power come from? Hold on a second, I've got to look down here because something's not quite. I've got a feeling I must have missed something. Maybe I'm just putting, maybe that's what it is. Yeah, I'm putting the twist to the stop. Yeah, that's what it is. It's alright, forget that, it's nothing to do with the mode. It's just I suddenly thought I forgot I was on this bike and was giving it the full beamage. You shouldn't really do on the road situation. However, it has got some nice bit of poke there. Alright, now I am now. Go for that. I tell you, I was lost. I do this route on my cycle. However, I'm not on my cycle, so I'm going a little bit faster. So I've got no idea where I was going. Right, let's see if we can get him. This bastard. I'll get extra points for that. Oh yeah, most points you get is no woman. I think we look them down. But no, I'm only joking. Christ, I tell you what, if you had to ask me which to get this one or the Tracer, well, you couldn't make that decision. As I just said earlier, I think you've got to make it on either because you want the Triumph because it's the brand, or because of a particular budget restraint, or you just prefer the looks of one or the other. You can't make it dynamically. These bikes are too similar. They really are. I think if you need power in your life, that's one reason to get the Chaser over this. But for everything else, really, there's not much in it. This does feel lighter when you're doing the turns. I've got a feeling, I haven't managed to do it yet, if you're on mid-speed corners, this is going to feel better. But the more speed you pick up, the easier it's going to lean in the first place. Interesting. So, as usual, what do I like about this bike? Well, the comfort seat that comes standard with this model is really, really good. Really, really good. I've not been on a more comfortable bike. I think I might have been on bikes that are as comfortable, and I couldn't rat them off from the top of my head. But certainly nothing is more comfortable. And now I'm used to this bike, because it does take 10 minutes to get used to a bike. It's beautifully weighted. The balance is superb. You feel like you get a really low lean angles. And the bike kind of wants to sit up, but it's kind of making you think that the bike's more stable than it even might be. I don't know. I'm not even sure what I'm trying to say here. It's like you go around a bend, it's like there's a gyroscope on the seat, and you feel like you're more upright than you are. It feels like I know I'm leaning the bike over, but I'm feeling the stability. That's the best way to explain it. It's getting windy again. Right, I like the sitting position. My elbows are relaxed. There's no stress or pressure on my hands. As I said, the seat's wickedly comfortable. That screen being adjustable is a good idea. You can move it forward and backwards a little bit to make the deflection work in your favour, because we're all different heights, and that's where that will come in. Dash and speedo combination unit, extremely clear. The fact that it's far out means you only have to glance down your eyes to see it, which is good, rather than have to lower your head to see it, which is certainly the case on my Ducati. There's plenty of space on the bar. There's a nice wide bars for sat-nav adapters, Garmin's, another sort of manual electricery. Heated grips don't seem to come as standard, but I'll tell you what this has got, and the Tracer hasn't got, and I just noticed it. It's got cruise control. Now, if you've ever been on a cruise control bike before, it's brilliant. It really is. When you're on a tour, and you're on a motorway, your hands get tired. Now, when you move your left hand off there, and you put it on the tank, and you rest there a bit, just to get a bit of different shape to your body, or take any pressure off your body, and slowly lean forward a bit. Now, you can't do that right hand normally, can you, of course, because you need to have some sort of twist on it to maintain momentum. Now, with a cruise control, you just set it with one click, and there it goes. And then you can take your you've got with a certain gear, and let's be able to do this actually. This won't work right now, but you can be able to take your right hand off and just poodle on down the road. Oh my god, I've just done a little funny little right hand wave. There's a bikie behind me. So low. You can see in the mirror. Brilliant. Oh dear. Fantastic. I was out a bit earlier on my scooter, and this person went past me, in front of me on the junction, and as I was turning the indicators off, I pressed the horn by mistake and effectively bibbed him. He looked round and gave me the old famous gesticulation of the hand, thinking I was bibbing him. Oh, that's so embarrassing. Fucking hate that. Right, back to the bike in question. It does feel really live. What else do I like? I like the suspension actually. It's really comfy on the road situations. They've got the suspension bang on. The XCX obviously is a little bit taller, and it's got suspension more for the cross. That's the C. I suppose this is the R for road. This is going to be a very, very comfortable bike. Now, the reason I prefer the 800 Tigers over the Explorer, which is 1200, was the lightness. And this is where Triumph really wins. This is a light bike. And it's cheaper, so that's why I thought the 800s win. Now it's interesting I've now been on both of them, because I'd have to say, because this is lighter and it's slower and the suspension is more for the road, I'd have this over the XCX actually. It's still got the cruise control, Still got the lovely whiny sound. I wouldn't bother putting a can on it, because this is a bike you're going to use for commuting and touring, and it might drain on a bit with the extra noise. Now, what don't I like about this bike? Again, there's not much I don't like about it. I tell you what, it's got very good mirrors again. You can see 70% behind you. Now that's good, as opposed to like 20% on an Italian bike, for example. You can see a lot past your elbows. That's good, obviously, because it's got wide handlebars. It makes logical sense that you better see well. It's nothing else not to like. I mean, you're just picking at straws. I mean, the front's not the sexiest place to look down on, but the Tracer was perhaps a little bit worse. But these are you'd either call them budget tourers, or sports tourers built to a budget. So you're not going to get a most amazingly cottage setup. And another thing that stands out, actually, you get your knees are quite wide on this. They're spread out by the thickness of the way the tank is, as opposed to being hugged in. It matters not one jot. I just thought I'd mention it. The gears are an absolute delight going up and down. It's so easy. You question why other bikes aren't like that. It's just ridiculously easy to go down and up through the gearbox. So definitely this is going to be a brilliant bike for commuting. I mean, you do see a lot of these bikes to commuting. And also, great for touring. It's got wonderful functionality. It's got that cruise control. So in summary with this against the Tracer, it's lighter, it's less powerful, it's not as fast. It hasn't got that boost of power. Whereas the Tracer's got that enough power that you go, oh wow, this hasn't really got that, hasn't got the slap in the face power. Now if you like that, the Tracer's the one. But if you're not so worried about it, due to the fact this is lighter, it's a little bit more engaging, only a little bit. I mean, the Tracer's got that in spades still. This is epically comfortable. This XRX model with this comforter seat, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Your arse will be your friend, no doubt about it. They'll probably even like you on Facebook. A very nice place to sit. Of course, I haven't done any singing in this video. That's most unlike me. Mind you, I've had a bit of a long day at work. I maybe have a little bit there. What was it? Nice. So this was Aid from Which Bike, out on a roadtrip.uk bike yet again. I've got another about 8 or 9 bikes to do, with some more comparison videos coming up. So a big shout out to them, and thank you very much for the ride. Another bike to add to my list of bikes I might want to buy in the future. And I've got the same predicament that you guys might have, in that do you buy the Tracer or the BMW, or another? Well, this is a problem. I can't tell you to go one way or the other. It's got to be a personal choice. So you just got to get out and make your own mind up, really. But at least I've probably helped you at least acknowledge that this and the Tracer are really, really good bikes. And you'll be happy with either. And you won't really regret not getting the other one. And I suppose, that's a comforting thought. So on that last thought, I will leave you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want more information about Road Trip's hire bikes and to see their extensive range, then go to roadtrip.uk, give the guys a call. They'll be pleased to talk to you about it, or invite you down and have a look at the bikes. So it's good night from me, and it's good night from this very nice 100 trick pony, the Triumph Tiger XRX.